Hello and welcome to this stream of Railway Empire, to our latest game of this Calypso Media family. And today I have another guest, and technically I'm his guest because he's streaming that one because he gonna play the game. And can you explain a lot of stuff in there? It's Jonas from Gaming Mind Studios, game designer. Hello.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. And yeah, today, technically, I'm streaming.
Technically he's streaming, that's right. Cool. How are you in
I'm,
Britisli?
I'm good. So, it has been almost a week. No, today is Thursday. It has been a week since release.
That's
And
right.
so I'm feeling pretty good. Nothing too bad happened.
Yes, we got some awesome reviews throughout the media. Thanks for that. It's great to see that the media enjoyed the press enjoyed the game a lot, and I hope you guys out there also have a lot of fun with Railway Empire 2. It's available. Yes, Jonas told us that since last week, May 25th was the release on PC, on Xbox family of consoles, and for sure the PlayStation family of consoles. So a lot of yeah, there's almost no excuse uh, to to get this game. And there's also something special. I will show you one. The official guides will be available somewhere this month. Yes, we have June. Yes, it should be available somewhere this month via the BILDNER Verlag, German book publisher. And you can get the content earlier via Steam. There are there's DLC content. There are 3 ebooks. One of them is the official compendium, contains all the information you need to build a successful railroad company. Then there is, sorry for that, the official mission guide offers overviews of all the tasks you will face in the campaign and scenarios, as well as many useful tips. And the official engine catalog is a complete listing of all the locomotives in the game, which are 60, yes, quite a lot, from 1830 to 1930, with all the relevant data and historical background. And all these ebooks you can get on Steam, you will find in this official guides. It's available in German and English language. So, enough home shopping. The Alchemist, hey, he's in time. Nice to see you. Spandau guy, awesome. Nice to see you. Judge Dredd again. Cool. So, now, oh yeah, we are in game now. So, Jonas, what we will play something special, a special scenario.
Yes, so I have noticed in earlier streams you have played a lot of campaign 1, and that has been great to show the game off and to get started. But we're going to go a bit deeper in today's stream. We're going to show what's new, and for that reason, we are going to play one of the latest scenarios. Well, actually, the last one. So, as a game designer on Railway Empire 2, I was mainly responsible for scenarios and campaign and story and writing and all of that stuff. And we're going to play my favorite one of the whole bunch, which is the last one. So it is one of the 2 scenarios in our game that have the signifier very hard, and both are in Europe, actually. But they challenge the player in different ways. So sitting on the fence, the 13th scenario challenges you by giving you very tight deadlines, and this one challenges you in a very logistical way. So I think it's good to show off what is possible and what is necessary to beat this one.
Ooh, the chat wants to see me in a Starlight Express outfit. That's challenge accepted. No.
That would be funny. Okay, then I'll just start it so we can look what our tasks are. Continue. So I'm going to challenge myself a little bit and pick the general. His well, the opposite of bonus. I can't remember the word. The opposite of his bonus is that
A malice. A malice.
malus. Yes. Bridges and
Malus.
tunnels are 30% higher cost, which is you will see a bit problematic in this one, but yeah, I want to challenge myself, as I said. So we're going to play the general with General Steam Ltd. And GS as a signifier. So we're going to start.
We want to want to see some nice features in this game. What I really liked was when I first played that game is that the access was a little smoother in my opinion. So to make really fun from the beginning on, and but I think later on, what I saw, it's gonna be a lot of tough. There's really tough, and so you need all this micromanagement, and there are some. What I want to say, basically, in a nutshell, is there are some great quality of life features that will help you later in the game.
Exactly. So we have successfully arrived in the scenario. As you can
So
see,
we're in Europe, is that right? Yeah.
we are in Europe and we're playing pretty much on the Scandinavia free game map. In the free game, it extends a little bit higher up north, but it's about the same. So we have our task list, and our task list in this one is a little bit different, with the main difference being that you see all the tasks from the very beginning. Because we're going to do something special. Our main objective today is, well, in this scenario, I don't think we will get there today, is to get Copenhagen up to 500,000 inhabitants. And this is a bit difficult, because as you see, Copenhagen is situated on an island.
Yeah.
And so we have to make and deliver all the different goods to get there. And yeah, so our first 3 tasks is make 8 different goods available in Copenhagen, deliver 8 loads of liquor to Copenhagen, and in a span of 2.5 years, construct a university. So yeah, I'll just get started.
That's also a very nice feature that you can construct buildings like a museum, university, and so on in that city, and really makes that looking great. So the first time I saw that, I was so impressed the liveliness you see in these cities, and you almost have this satellite view, and then you can zoom all the way in and have this lively towns. So now we are in pause mode at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I'll just let everybody go. Okay. So I'll get started. I wanted to build a train station and show off one of the changes that we made from Railway Empire 1, which is this nice topographic view. Maybe, so if you've played the first game, you'll remember the topographic view in Railway 1 was just the regular terrain with yellow lines overlaid on top. So one of the big things we did for the sequel was to completely redo that one and change the way we do it. We still have the lines going over the terrain, but now we color the terrain actually differently and make sure that everything is visible and understandable in terms of height.
Oh, in the chat, Tolix, hello, nice to see you. And we have a question from Yevlin. Is it possible to build a railway all over the Baltic Sea, or it's too deep for a bridge?
The fun thing I would say is that we don't limit bridges in this one. We do have a limit to tunnels, but you can build a bridge basically as far as you can go. And part of the fun of the scenario is, well, that you have to do stupid bridges. So the last time I played through this one, I built a bridge from Köslin to Karlskrona, and had to. I transported steel up to Karlskrona to make cars all over this stretch of water. So no, well, yes, you can build a bridge all through the Baltic.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So now to Copenhagen. So what I really like about this, when you connect to train stations with each other, are the grid irons, which is yes, is you're setting it, and that makes the trains choose the right the right rail at the station.
Yes, this was well made a bit smarter from Railway 1. So when I
Mhm.
played, it always bothered me that trains would wait even at stations even though there were tracks available.
Okay.
So we adjusted that. Trains can now, with the use of the grid irons, dynamically choose what station track they want to use.
Oh, that's really good. So you choose the direction of the parallel tracks. That's also a very good feature. In the last streams, we had a few guys that were really happy to set signals in the previous game, but overall, I think that helps a lot for the later game. That new mechanic, and I think there were many people that we had a lot of comments in the previous game where people said, "Oh, can we do that in another way with another mechanic?" And you invented this one.
Yeah, exactly. So I have been reading a lot of forum posts in the last week, and I see a lot of people saying, okay, this this makes it a bit too simple. Other people saying this is still kind of too hard for us. Um, so we're kind of seeing what we can do right now to make everybody a bit happier.
But if I see that from that point, if you understood how that signal system worked later on, if you reached a max out of your map in Railway 1, so it was a lot of clicking, and I really enjoy that you when you have connected several towns and rural industries and so on, that you have some sort of 5 or 6 clicks less for actions. It doesn't definitely doesn't make that game easier.
Exactly. So the way I would say it, the new system we introduced saves on tedium. So there is little we cannot do with the new system.
Mhm.
So it makes it a bit more intuitive, and then you actually have more time for the fun part of the game, which is planning your tracks, making your logistics work, and all of that stuff.
Definitely. And also, what I figured out is you can get a connection bonus that was also in Railway Empire 1, but when I first connected that bonus bonus part, that bonus town, then I didn't get the money immediately. This time is now that first there has to be a transaction between these two destinations to get your bonus. That's very important. That was very
Yes.
important for me because I thought, no, I connected it. Where's my money? Come on. And I
Yeah,
said, no, no.
absolutely. When I was playing Railway 1 in preparation for this project, I well exploited the game a lot by
Mhm.
just connecting a station with a bonus, getting that bonus, and deleting everything again.
Yeah.
And that is something we try to avoid with the new system. So you actually have to connect a place to get that bonus, and if you try to delete the stuff you built to get that bonus, you'll have to pay it back. So we have made it a bit more exploit proof. And well, not, the well drawback I might say is that it takes just a bit longer to get that bonus.
Mhm. That's right.
So what I'm doing right now is build my first long connection, so I get a bit of money. And well, a lot of people know that already. The moneymaker here is express lines, and now I've messed up, I think.
Oh,
Immediately.
we have someone, Ahmad Semi, who is on Facebook. Yes, I know you now. You were a lot of times. He visited us via the Facebook stream, and oh, he has a problem with trains not unloading.
Yes. There can be several reasons for that. So I've spent some time working in well in customer support for the last week. So I've gotten a lot of emails from people asking how systems work. The main question, so I can't give an answer right away because I don't know how you set up your rail system. So let me ask you a follow-up question. Do you use a warehouse um, in your uh, in your system where nothing is loaded?
Okay, let's see when he's answering.
Yes.
And he's a fan of the signals. I think also it would be good to have a way to have the signals for bidirectional line like we did in Railway Empire 1. Well, those are all very. Oh yes, yes, a warehouse. He uses a warehouse. Yes.
Yes, so one of the big changes we made to warehouses is that you can no longer stockpile. Goods that you transport have to have a valid destination. So when I look at save games that are sent to me with that specific problem, I always look uh, at the warehouse and where the goods could go from that warehouse to be loaded. So if you're trying to um, if I set up a line between, for example, this vegetable farm in Copenhagen with a warehouse and a connection to Nestved, nothing would probably be loaded because Nestved doesn't yet have a demand for vegetables. So that could be one possible explanation. So if you're using a warehouse, the first thing I would check if the goods you're trying to transport have a valid destination. And if the trains don't even leave the station, check if you've set a minimum requirement of wagons that are to be loaded. Because if you have a minimum requirement of 4 wagons and no goods can be loaded, then it will just wait for goods until a destination has reached the intended size. And maybe I can just start playing with a warehouse here in Copenhagen, because I need to start delivering goods there. So, Copenhagen needs sugar, corn, and lumber, and I can start delivering sugar from over here. I would get lumber here, and for corn I have to go to this island. So I will build my first route connecting corn, sugar with Copenhagen, and build another route to Nestved, so I can start supplying Nestved as well. So I will get started on that one.
There's a huge learning process after such an impressive large game, Railway Empire 1. So what's I cannot imagine. You told me before the stream that you designed a lot of things from scratch. Is that right?
Yes, we had to do a lot from scratch because the way we did Railway 1, we with the DLCs and all the updates, we kind of pushed it to the limit what our logic was able to do. So to make all of these changes you see in Railway 2, we had to rethink and rebuild a lot of the systems to make it possible the way it operates now.
Oh, I see a question from GB. GB, sorry, I had a problem with my super chat here. It was not connecting. But he says simple versus advanced modes. So we have different scenarios and campaigns that vary in difficulty, and for sure you can also set up some options to make it a little bit easier for you or a little bit harder.
Exactly. So one of the big changes we have from Railway Empire 1 is the range of content and content difficulty we offer. So in Railway 1 we had the main campaign, which I thought was quite easy. I finished the main campaign back when I played it without knowing that signals are a thing. um, and then once I started to get into DLC content, I had to adapt and adjust the way I played in order to not completely miss out. So that's a big change we have now. We have the campaign, which still I would say is quite easy, and then we have 14 more scenarios that range from about campaign difficulty to Metropolis, which I think on Steam right now exactly 2 people have beaten it. So that's a bit harder.
Oh, okay. We have AJ Ashman. Sorry if this was already. No, it was not. It's a very good question, I think. What was the vision by the track seat limiter feature?
But come again? That kind of was eaten by the internet.
Okay, what was the vision by the track speed limiter feature?
So I guess you are referring to the track the speed being limited in curves. So I guess that one would be just realism. If if a train goes too fast through a limited curve, there's always the risk that it derails. Uh, so in the name of realism, we limited the speed in tight curves, and it adds an additional logistical challenge, because if you don't want to limit your speed, you kind of have to build larger curves, which depending on available space is a planning challenge. So it's kind of a trade-off. Do you want to be space efficient, or do you want your train to go fast in difficult spots? Which this Copenhagen Næstved space definitely is, for example.
From GB. Oh no, GB meant a different thing, and now he gave us the full question. No, it's about the signal thing that people are complaining about. It looks so simplified without the signals setting. So GB, it's like that we are constantly checking out what the community gives us as a feedback, and that's what we are always doing with all our games, and that's and we try to improve that. And if there are enough people, it definitely gets a higher priority. So write that stuff into the forum, especially our producer Moritz, who was here in some streams as well, and he was noting some questions in the chat, and he's taking that really seriously, that stuff. But at the moment now, it's we cannot promise anything right now, but
Yeah,
we're constantly checking and see what's possible.
I can say we as developers, we do look at Steam forums and Discord and everywhere feedback gets placed. Um, we might not always answer directly, but we read what is written there. So if manual signals are something a lot of people want, that is definitely we will discuss internally whether we can make it happen.
Definitely. You can just write that gently to us, and we're taking that really seriously.
Exactly. Oh, I need to build more maintenance depots because my moneymaker isn't making enough money. So I've built my first connections, and now it's time to get some of these connection bonuses. Because
Awesome. The good bonuses.
yeah, I chose the general to make things harder for myself, and now I'm
Oh.
running out of money. I guess that's on me.
Yes, I'm always running out of money, but I think that was just my rookie situation in that game.
Yes. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Let's check out the other questions you can ask us. We're trying to answer that. Today is a good chance because we have Jonas here from Gaming Minds, one of the game designers there. Can maintenance depots not placed in cities be set up to also fill the fluids on a locomotive, similar to the maintenance station in Railway Empire 1?
As far as I know, the maintenance depot only will fill up the well, regular maintenance meter, and you still have to place a water tower if you want to fill up supplies.
Oh, from 66 Honk in German. Hallo, habt ihr schön hinbekommen, das neue Railway Empire 2.
Danke
Yes,
sehr.
we did it. We did it nice. He says, "Thanks a lot. That means a lot to us." Very nice. So I have to check out the other. And Ahmad also likes the automated signals being placed for direction lines, but I would love to have them for B-direction lines as well. Yeah, this is quite a task with that signals.
So stuff is
That's
getting
not a
delivered.
problem. As I mentioned, and as Jonas told you, we're reading that, and if it's possible, we're replying and trying to take you guys really, really serious.
Exactly.
So we played a lot of the US map in the last streams. We only showed the European map to the audience. So this is a really
This is a good showcase then.
Yeah, it's a really good showcase, definitely. But what we showed, and I found that really impressive. We zoomed in, completely zoomed in to Los Angeles, and then we moved towards the East Coast from there, and people could see how slowly the arrow on the minimap moved. So that was really impressive how huge this map is. I think, is it five or more times larger than the US stuff.
I
It's a lot.
it's a couple more times. I actually
Yeah.
forgot the
Yes,
exact
I've heard
number.
it. I've heard it as well, but I forgot it. But
Yeah,
it's
that's also one of the big changes we made. So we did have an All America map in Railway 1, but
Mhm.
if you remember, that one was a bit simplified compared to well, just putting all other maps together.
Mhm.
Because the engine at that time didn't really support maps of that size. So something we had to do to get the fidelity of basically all Railway 1 maps put together, we had to change a lot to make that happen. Especially then to add a Europe map, which is basically all Europe DLCs put together, plus plus a bunch of nowadays Poland and Spain and
Mhm.
parts of Italy.
Yeah, so definitely it's if you compare the Railway Empire 1 when it came out to now this when it came out. So we know there were a lot of DLCs of Railway Empire 1, but just take the base game. This is so much bigger.
Mhm.
Oh, and another question from 66 Honk. I have to translate that. He has some problem or with the supply towers because sometimes the signals are set in a strange way that the trains have to break so abrupt.
Yeah, that sounds. I think I've seen that in an email today. So, if you see something like that, definitely write us a message with a save game attached so we can look into it. The way you do that, if you encounter a bug, for example, you go escape, report issue, and click save to get the save, and then send us an email. And that way, we directly at the studio get the email and can look into the problem, what is happening, whether that is something the game is not doing correctly right now, or maybe there's a way you can improve the way you set up things. So yeah, and as I said, I've been doing that for the past week, and so I've already recognized one or two names that I've seen from the chat
Ah,
now.
that's yeah, you guys, you see,
So if
you will be heard.
a Jonas replied to your email, that's me.
Cool. So yes, you can set up an engine, and yeah, we have 60 different locomotives, 30 of the most popular locomotives of North America, and 30 of Europe. But you can use. I hope I'm telling that right. If you play the US map, definitely use all 30 US trains, but you can also get a bunch of the European ones and the opposite way. You play
Yes,
Europe. Yeah.
yes, exactly. So we the well, the train trees in our research section, I have enough research point to show that off right now, um, are basically equivalents between the Europe and US map.
Mhm.
So, oh, and I spotted a bug. This shouldn't be. This shouldn't already be available. So, um,
Is it a bug or is it a feature? That's the
well,
question.
it's a feature right now because bridges are a bit cheaper for me, but I will have to look into this once I get to work tomorrow. Yeah, I'll get myself the Santa Fe. And so, what I was saying. So, the rail research trees for the US and EU are both unique. Some locomotives are shared, some are unique to each one. One thing we did for the new game is to take all the locomotives from the base game, Railway Empire 2, and get all the locomotives from the Europe DLCs. And they are all present in this game. And also it's not just the same models. We actually invested a lot of time taking these old models, revamping them, and well, increasing graphical fidelity, textures, interactability, all of that stuff to make the locomotives not just Railway 1 again, but to make them a new level of beauty. And we had one person actually work on that for most of the development time, which was I think 3 years. Yeah, we a bit less than 3 years. Okay.
Sami, who had some questions before on Facebook, he got an email response from Gaming Mind Studios on his bug report.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I thought I recognized that
that's
name.
yeah, it's a pretty good example that we're taking care.
Yeah, it is important to us that people are happy, and like I said, we are listening to the community. Okay. So if you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm just trying to increase my my wealth output on that one locomotive. I'm trying to build a very long train between a bunch of cities. I'm going to connect that at the top here once I have enough money, and then that's going to be a circular route that's going to make me a bunch of money, which will be fun.
By the way, I think we can explain a little bit about how the lines or the train works. So now you're managing the lines, and in Railway Empire there was the single trains you had to manage. Is that right?
That is correct. So one of the big changes we made, because this is well, these are maps that are a lot bigger and a lot more to manage once you get into it. It was also a bit tedious to always put individual trains between every city and to clone lines. And now all that cloning work has been put into just being able to increase the trains that are then placed on the line. I can't do that with this one yet because it's only single track, and if I do this, things will break. So,
Okay.
Copenhagen, Hamstad, Gothenburg, Hamstad, Copenhagen. So, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't mess up my system.
Definitely.
While also talking about the game.
Oh, a question for the future. There was no question about future DLCs after over half an hour. That's so cool. But is there a possibility to get more modern trains in the future? I think not yet. It's
Yes,
more that romantic Steam era.
exactly. At this point in time, nothing is set in stone. So we are still talking about different possibilities, and well, we are listening to what the community says, because also in the Steam forums and on Discord there are people asking for different things. So, for example, I've seen one person ask for an Orient Express DLC. I've seen other people ask for electrified routes. So I can't say anything yet what is in the works.
Definitely. Yeah, I had people when we streamed Railway Empire 1 that wanted a Hogwarts Express DLC.
Well, that would be fun.
Definitely.
And I mean, the Hogwarts Express locomotive is not trademarked. That's a locomotive that really existed that they just used for the movie. So
Okay.
that may be something, if people want it, that we could actually add to the game at some point. I think it was
It
a
would.
1950s locomotive. I researched that a bit during the development process.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So,
Yes, I was really impressed when I saw the the trains so close and how detailed they are, and you can also color them. I think if you finish the,
oh,
if you
sorry.
oh, there's someone who wants to talk to you. Someone of the community
Yeah,
got your phone number.
yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Let me quickly
I,
turn off my phone. Okay, sorry.
yes, what I want to say is I saw that trains and they were so incredibly detailed and all of that.
Yes. Why don't we
Um,
show that off?
yeah, definitely. And so to create them with that much of detail, that amount of detail,
Mhm.
d- d- did you see those trains all yes, in real life, or did you take more pictures, or
Well, that actually
wha-
depends a little bit on the train. So, of a lot of trains, there are museum pieces and pictures and stuff we can look at. Other things we kind of had to guess how we'd make that look.
okay,
Um, this would be let's make that. That's a bit too yellow. Let's make that a bit more golden. Uh, yeah, that's
aging
fine.
effect.
Yeah,
That aging effect is awesome.
yeah, I like that green color.
Oh,
So our Santa Fe will now be green and white. Good stuff.
was from Punk Bastard. When will this be reduced? It's too expensive. Okay, you had the chance to pre-order it for 10% off all the time.
Well, let me also give you a hint. So if you want to try it out, and if you're unsure the game is for you, you could get a a month 1 month version of Game Pass, and I think that would cost you about $10. Of course, after a certain time, Railway Empire 2 will no longer be available, but that is still enough for you to try out the game if it's too expensive for you right now.
You are so right. This is what I totally forgot at the beginning when I mentioned where you can get it. It's also in the Game Pass on PC and Xbox Game Pass. This game, yeah, that's definitely a very important tip. You can check out this service and play it for a while. That's pretty cool. Why can't you specify some tracks as freight only?
Um, well, you can, but that's kind of on your logistical planning. So for example, I can say I don't want to I don't want this to be a mixed track, so I can just demolish these and build another track which I will have my freight trains run on. Ah, okay, I need to do some restructuring to make that happen. Give me a second.
Yes.
So, um, connect these to connect here. Also, ideally,
G
no speed reduction.
GB. Meanwhile, GB is downloading it via the Game Pass.
Nice, good for you, GB.
Have a lot of fun with that.
Absolutely. So, um, now I have specified my freight track on that line, and yeah, now I'll continue to set my express line. Okay, this is a bit wonky. Now this should. I'll. Okay, I messed it up. I'll just. Let me
That
quickly
happens.
rebuild that section.
No problem, no problem. Oh, there is a good question from 66 Hong. Why is when the train is the maintenance, um, water and sand and oil not filled up? That was the same thing in Railway Empire 1. Where exactly? In the maintenance building of the city?
I think I get the question. Um, well, that is to make, I would say, gameplay more interesting. Mind you, I did not work on that system, so I can own. So I don't really know why it is like this in that specific area of the game. But my guess would be in order to, well, not make water towers useless, to give you a logistical challenge and to make gameplay more interesting generally. So one thing I did here to make that work, let me delete my gridirons to demonstrate again. One of the options we have now is to specify the number of tracks you want your gridiron to have. So you can say 2, or it was set to max before. If you go 2 tracks in your gridiron, you can have 2 tracks next to each other that do not have a connection. So now these 2 routes are freight only, and these 2 routes, once I set everything up correctly, will be express only. So there is no automatic option to set that to freight only, but that's for you to plan and to set up. Come on.
And some nice words from Ahmad Sami. Great work on the game in general, by the way. I really love it. Please keep working on polishing it. Yes, we
Thank you.
definitely will. Thanks a lot for these
kind words.
Yeah, definitely. That's always the point. Being gentle. You can have your points, definitely. We will listen to them.
Exactly. And it's important to us to make people happy. That's well, that's why you get into game development, to well, give people a good time and to make something fun for everybody. Sometimes that's hard. Sometimes it will not please everybody. It could, but we always try to.
Sounds like my private life as father.
Okay, so yeah, I've set that up. Before that I was trying to get that connection bonus here.
Yeah, but it's pretty similar, because my kids constantly asking for crisps, for ice cream, for gummy bear and all that stuff. And I say, no, that doesn't make sense. That's not working. And sometimes things are not possible. Sometimes things we love to add things.
Yeah, sometimes crisp with gummy bears and ice cream at the same time do not taste too well.
But these little people are dealing with that. They're putting everything inside, and then they're complaining about stomachache.
Yeah, so
They cannot survive. They would not survive 10 minutes without me. Judge Dredd. Some problems with the chat today. I'm not sure. I like the game, and I hope that will come DLCs. For example, a scenario about, yes, here we have it, the Orient Express. Awesome. Another Orient Express fan.
I see a question from Boise. I hope I pronounce your name right. Is there any way to rename an individual train rather than a route? No. Trains on a route have numbers, so if I add another train, that will always be number 2. Unfortunately, you can only rename the route or the station. In the last days before release, we actually added the feature to be able to rename the station to something more fun, for example. Also to make it easier to keep track of everything, especially if there are multiple stations per city.
Hamburger. Okay. Now I'm hungry. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Always trying to please. So yeah, right now I'm trying to get all of the connection bonuses, and Copenhagen is growing nicely. So after getting the last connection bonus, I will try to get lumber to the city. Oh, sorry, Judge Dredd. Let me change the name back.
Fred is an awesome name.
Yes. There are patch notes for the patch today in the Xbox Game Pass. I saw that the sensitivity got fixed and you can see now the cost for everything before you have enough.
Yeah, I have a blog here. You can check. I will post that into the chat. I hope that will help you, and you can also always visit our where is it? Our website. Hope that will help you.
Yes. Also, Raymond Bursch is asking for the minimal requirements to run Railway Empire 2. You will find a list of those on Steam. There's an FAQ thread where they are listed, I believe.
Also like the music of that. I'm really a huge fan of that Steam era.
Hamburg?
Also big fan of steampunk.
Hamburg
Of steampunk stuff.
Sorry, I was just figuring out my road. Yeah, you were saying?
Definitely. I'm a huge fan of that Steam era, and I'm also a big fan of steampunk, which is a little bit abstract, but I really love that stuff. And I listened to a lot of gramophone songs the last couple of weeks.
Mm. Well,
I really like.
I'm
Yeah.
more I'm more of a swing kind of guy, so
Oh, okay.
I'm I'm just a bit later than the gramophone music era. Well, I guess it was still played on a gramophone, but it's different music than what you were talking about.
Yeah, I mean that 20s, 30s stuff. Really like that, and all the style and the clothes the people wore. It had some style in a way. I would never wear something like that because I also think I'm not the type of guy, and it would look a little bit strange. So it depends. Maybe at a party or so, a dedicated party. Hello, Jan Kierle. Is that right? So, Kiri. So, can you upgrade the normal version to deluxe?
I think that's a question that you would have to answer. I'm not really
Yeah,
involved
definitely.
in that
Yes,
stuff.
I'm also reason I haven't. That's really a good question. I thought I had seen that.
This new connection bonus. Good stuff. Okay, I think the next thing I want to do is to upgrade my express route. Oh, this is going to be a bit expensive, but worth it in the end. So, let me get rid of this stuff. So now I'm trying to upgrade my 1 track to 2 tracks to have more express trains run. Also to have an easier time to get wood from up north to Copenhagen. Okay.
Oh, the steam gets through the tunnel ceiling from 6-6 Honk when the trains are driving through tunnels.
Oh, I think I know what you mean. But if you observe that, please again send us a save game with it occurring, so we can take a look at fixing it.
Dave Dog loves the game, but he has a lot of problems with unbalanced trains. Any advice? Maybe you can specify it a little bit.
Yes, I don't exactly know what you mean with unbalanced in that scenario. Are the trains too fast, or how do you mean that? Or is the train balance off that they don't make enough money?
Just wait.
Okay. How much time do I have left? Until the end of the year. Good. Wait, 6 out of 8 goods? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I need to get milk there. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, milk.
So we already have a milk factory here that we can try and hook up to our network. So how is my moneymaker line doing?
Did we already show some stuff with the warehouse, or are we not at that point right now?
I set up a basic warehouse with corn and sugar earlier. That nothing is getting transported right now. Ah, because there is enough corn there. Okay, this is weird. Where's my corn train? Ah, okay, yeah. 5 corn were on its way between Copenhagen and Næstved. That's why it didn't show up in the warehouse. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, the warehouse is set up for 2 goods right now, and I'm going to set up another warehouse in Næstved to get wood and milk up to Copenhagen. So, yeah, that's also one of the bigger changes we made, how warehouses work. Because you used to be able to stockpile goods, and now goods have to have a valid destination. So, I have a bit of money, so I think I can attempt to set up my wood line to Copenhagen. And yeah, I like the station placement right now. Or maybe let me hold off on that just a little bit and try to increase the fidelity of my express line. Because better express line means more money. And then
you can also upgrade your stations with restaurants and hotels and stuff, which also increases the amount of money you can make by each
exactly,
passenger.
I already did that sneakily. Let me show that off.
Sneakily.
So
You
so I upgrade.
at one point there was no restaurant, and the next day there is one. You sneakily
Yes,
built one.
I've placed a market hall and a restaurant in Kolding because I want people to change trains from my Hamburg-Schwerin Kolding line to my long line between Aalborg, Kolding, Copenhagen, and so on. And the 2 extensions give me a 1. The restaurant increases the revenue for passengers who start or transfer at this station by 15%, and the market hall increases revenue for passengers who start or transfer at this station by 10%. Can be combined with the restaurant. So there's just a little bit extra money I'm making on that one.
Awesome. And what is this with these other buildings, like the museum and the university? They are not just there for looking good, I think.
Exactly. So Copenhagen is now getting up to the point where I can place its first building, the immigration office, which will speed up the growth of the city by a big percentage. And I will need that because in this scenario, remember, the goal is to get Copenhagen to 500k inhabitants, is to keep Copenhagen to always keep it growing. So, and the faster I can have it growing now, the better I will be able to stomach, logistical problems later on where goods might not be delivered on time. Which will happen inevitably. Because this scenario is, it's hard. There's a reason it says very hard. And
I think you designed it. You designed it, so you shot yourself into your own knee, I think.
Yes, at some point a year ago, I got this idea, and I was curious if it was feasible. So I we originally only had 13 scenarios planned, so I went out in the last week where I was able to do that. I started a free game in Scandinavia, tried out this idea, and it worked, so I was able to get it as an additional scenario in the game.
Great. Yayo 1212, did I miss much? You can rewatch this after the stream as VOD. So maybe you missed something. We have Jonas here from Gaming Mind Studios. He's a game designer and one of the responsible persons that made this really large, really lovely game here, Railway Empire 2, available on PC. It's on the Xbox consoles, on the PlayStation consoles, and it's also available via the Xbox and PC Game Pass. So if you are with this service, you can play it right now. Just download it and have fun.
Exactly.
And yeah, and it's always a good sign if there is a sequel. That means there are a lot of people out there that were satisfied, people that want more.
So I upgraded most of my express line to double track, so I can now do some interesting constructions with getting more money. So I've set one of my express lines to only take passengers, and I'm now setting the other express line to only take mail to be able to maximize the bonuses from the special wagons we added.
You definitely need money now.
Yes.
You have to go to the bank.
Yes, I spent all my money, and I spent all the credit the bank would give me, and I've spent all the connection bonuses. So at this point,
okay.
my network really needs to start making money, and I can't even buy that last train. So I'm going to speed up the game speed a little bit, and wait for some money to accumulate. Yayo says, this game has room for improvement. Yes, absolutely. And I mean, that was already something we saw with Railway Empire 1, because Railway Empire 1 didn't get released in the state it is today. It is the base game plus 3 updates plus, I think, 8 DLCs at this point. So there was a lot of time and a lot of attention placed to make things better and improve, listen to the community, as I said, and I think we will be able to do that here as well. So we are starting from a base, and now we can work to improve it.
And you can grow with us, being a part of this nice game in a way.
Exactly. Tell us. Do always tell us what features you would like to see, what critiques you have. We are very happy to read about them and to see how we can improve the game. Yeah. I see. I forgot to place a water tower between Copenhagen and Næstved, and immediately stuff starts to happen.
There is from Prone Playing Panda. I had a free play with the mission to have 2048 trains on the tracks. It doesn't sound right since I had already 32 cities connected and only around 200 to 300 trains. Should this be reported? And where?
Yes, this sounds like the number is a bit too high, and please do report it. The way you report it is you go to the to where it's happening in the game. You go escape, you click report issue, you create a save game by clicking on save, and then you send us an email. And that way it is pretty likely that I personally at this point will get that email and take a look at it. So I forgot to place a maintenance station too. And now I have two express trains running from Aalborg to Gothenburg, one for mail, one for passengers, which should already work too. Okay, my balance last week wasn't too great.
Oh, but the money looks a little bit uprising now.
Yeah, it does rise at a steady pace. And Copenhagen is past 30,000 inhabitants, so I can place an immigration office to make it grow a bit faster.
That's so rewarding, having the chance to build a new building or upgrading something at your station, and then you can see the citizens growing, the citizens number growing. That's really rewarding.
Yes. Why is that one going without freight? Uh, oh, because I need to place some a minimum amount of wagons that it's going to take, so it doesn't waste money running empty.
Then Mahlzeit. Hello.
Judge Dredd says your balance is enough for 1 or 2 beer. Yes, absolutely,
Okay.
but we're getting there. So what would it cost me to run my double track up to Gothenburg? 147. Yeah, we'll wait for that and do that next, and then we will upgrade our wood line and milk line to get to Copenhagen.
What I discovered for myself is ginger beer.
Oh
It's not
yes.
a it's not an alcoholic drink. It's a soft drink, but I really like that. There are different companies that are producing that, and I'm a big fan of that.
Mhm. I discovered that my local supermarket has a beverage called kvass. So, if you're familiar with beverages in Eastern Europe, you might already know that. It's a,
Mm.
the way I understand it, it's a kind of, well, in this case, from my supermarket, non-alcoholic beer that is brewed from dark bread, and it's very tasty. So I've been drinking that a lot, and I've I've been brewing kombucha in my own kitchen.
I haven't heard of that. No.
Um, it's fermented black or green tea with sugar.
Okay.
Just
No,
fermented in a way that
that one
doesn't
with
add
the
alcohol.
no that first one you mentioned with that what dark bread also.
Kvass.
Kvass. Maybe you can send
Yes.
me an image or so
I
tomorrow
will I
or
will do
later.
that after the stream. So I
Okay,
will
cool.
add. Oh, I need to add Gothenburg to my mail line, not the express, not the passenger line. Which is this one. Okay, adding Gothenburg, and Gothenburg goes after Halmstad. Then I have to put Halmstad back, and then Copenhagen and so on. Good. This will make me just a little bit more money. So, how's my Hamburg passenger train doing? It's not going full yet, so there's room for improvement there. Yayo says, I understand Europe maps have a unique set of engines from the North American maps. Yes and no. There are some engines are shared. A lot of engines are unique though. Okay, I'm going to add the Flying Scotsman. It's an express line. And I'm going to upgrade my moneymakers with that new train. It's the first one, and oh, this is going to cost me a little. My post line 2, Flying Scotsman, and my Hamburg line. Oh, that's that was running on quite an old engine.
Sorry for the topic of beer.
We're a German studio. Beer will inevitably come up.
Yeah, how was your barbecue last week? Was it good?
It was very good. So we had a little release party on the evening of Thursday.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I was once there when I visited Gaming Minds, and we had a small barbecue. Yeah,
Nice.
it's very easy to get that stuff. It's only vice versa to to the building. You can get all what you want from the supermarket.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to show you one of my personal hacks. Uh,
Oh,
because we have the system that you can't go through city territory. So for myself, in case I want to do that, I found myself a workaround where you just connect to a rail line inside the city, and then you have no issue with that, because now what you can do is just demolish this part and build a line as you wanted to.
this is some really exclusive
Yeah,
content.
because I didn't design that system, I can exploit it a little bit unashamedly without making myself sad. I can't exploit campaigns or the scenarios without making myself sad, though. Which our
Yeah.
other game designer that did the systems absolutely can. So, what's going to cost 110?
Maybe for that one tomorrow you will find a surprise from your colleagues on
Okay.
your desk.
Uh, Someone asked, show us how to crossing two parallel line with another two parallel line. It's almost impossible. Um, I'm not exactly sure what you mean, but let me try.
You can cross
Come on.
lines, not a X, a
Yep.
cross, but two parallel tracks crossing.
So I think that's what he means.
And that
Let me try that. That's a
that's an,
construction I don't usually use. So yeah, okay, I can't build it because I don't have enough money, but this is, I guess, how it would look like. Although, I wouldn't personally do it because it adds inefficiency to my rail line. So the way I usually do it, I either go above or under the line to make that happen. So either with a bridge or a tunnel.
yes, you can increase the height of your line.
Yes. Okay, so. Ah, yeah, that thing again. So. What I want improved in the game is the sandbox mode. How would you like it improved? So, what's your opinion on that one right now, Yayo? Because, like I said, we're always looking for feedback and how to uh, make different areas of the game a bit better.
Definitely, but we need some more detailed advices or comments.
Exactly.
That would help a lot.
Okay, just to wait a little bit for money to accumulate.
Bring back the yellow check marks from Sonny DK.
Oh, yes, yes. I do agree, and we will talk about that internally, whether that's a system we can add. When I was playing the campaigns of Railway 1 myself, I found that quite rewarding, but that's unfortunately one of the things that didn't make it in. So if you want to see that in the game, definitely let us know.
Now someone made you happy that he's on your side.
Okay, 219, just a bit more money, then I can continue work. So Copenhagen is now looking for a second industry. What do I want to make there? I think for starters we're going for fashion. Okay, Yayo says as a way to improve sandbox mode, he would like to be able to choose from all of the engines in game. That's good feedback. Thank you. We will consider that and how we would be able to make that happen.
Sonny DK.
So,
Oh, I live in that city. Which city? Sonny.
what you can already do, Yayo, though, is to you have you have 10,000 research points. So basically, your research points are unlimited. So you can at least you can at least get all engines from a one of the errors. But we will have to look into how we would be able to make all the engines available at all times.
Sonny lives in Copenhagen.
Oh, nice. Good representation. So yeah, the good thing for Sony is this scenario is all based around making Copenhagen. I think, yes, well, the most livable city in Europe, which according to certain articles on the internet, it is already. So we're trying to strive to reach reality.
So my city is not in that game.
Which is your city, Patrick?
No, it's not mentionable. It's just it's just a small village.
Oh, forgot a gridiron.
It would be a waste to put that into that game.
Okay. So.
Can you build out and extend any land from Groden, Greece? No.
I guess you mean in terms of having terraforming tools at your disposal. So,
Maybe.
could you elaborate what you mean by that question?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not super happy with how that one looks, but it's good for now. I will rebuild that at some point in the near future.
What is the best way to provide suggestions and feedback? Well, maybe the Steam forum.
Exactly. You can send
Yeah.
us stuff via the Steam forum. We look at it. You can send us stuff on our Discord server. You can write us an email via report issue send email. That way, this gets directly on our table. And yeah, especially Calypso has an eye on the Steam forums. So when things get raised there a lot, that is a very good way to raise everybody's attention.
Yeah, our producer is constantly checking.
Exactly. I would love to have more shortcuts. It's a bit limited currently. I think Yetok says, I hope I pronounced that correctly. So I guess what you would like to see is more shortcuts via the keyboard. So you have you can access things faster. Yes, I see why you would like to see that. We already have some shortcuts in the game. For example, we have the Alt key that turns on and off the signal mode. We have the H key that opens up our topographical map. But I guess that is an area where we can always try to improve. Key bindings. Yes, he says key bindings, I mean. Oh, well, sorry, they.
What's also nice is that in some places you can found towns. I think that only came later with Railway Empire 1.
Yes, I think that was added via the Australia DLC. And we definitely wanted to see that again because it's a fun feature. And there's a bunch of cities in the US that actually were founded pretty late. My rule for that one was I only made cities foundable that were founded historically after 1870. So that is the rule, and I think I broke it only once. Yes, that's that. And that's the reason why we don't have foundable cities in Europe, because of all the cities we have, I don't think any are have been founded after 1870,
Yeah,
which makes sense.
that's the
Speaking
point.
of Europe,
That's definitely makes sense. Yes.
Mhm. Race to the South Pole.
Oh, from
At Aalborg, I forgot to station gridiron. Let me see. I think I've added it. 1212, and here too. You may be a bit delayed. Because I realized at some point that I forgot it and then added it later.
There's from Shady Dave via Twitch. I'm after some help on a task that I failed. Ensure 95% train utilization for freight. The city mentioned gets to 100% for a while, then goes to 0%. Does it mean I have to maintain 100% freight usage all the time?
I think I wrote a hint for that specific task today. So what this task wants you to do, cities get goods from rural businesses and factories around the city. So Copenhagen gets meat from Næstved and wheat from Karlhavstop. So what this task expects you to do is to dry up all the other transport streams by providing train delivery services by yourself. So as soon as grain gets transported to Copenhagen by train, it does not go via road. So the task wants you to substitute every possible way to get goods to your city by your own train system. And that way it should work. Boise asks, when would you recommend buying a business, and what's the main perks of owning a business? So that's a very good question,
Awesome,
and I would recommend buying businesses once you start to have a little bit of money floating around. When you're trying to get a city big, what you will notice is that the city will grow faster than the goods supplied in rural businesses around it. So Kylo Farm right now is able to provide all the grain I need for these two cities, but it will not be able to do so always. So as soon as that point is reached, that you need more resources from rural businesses than it's ready to give you, then it makes sense to start buying up businesses and increasing them in size. And this is something that will inevitably be happening in this scenario as you build up Copenhagen and try to supply everything and the cities around it. So this scenario was kind of designed around the idea, and we even have the task of own 20 industries and businesses at the very end. Just you kind of do that naturally, and I want to push the player a little bit more in that direction. Also, fun fact, this optional task, make 25 different goods available in Copenhagen at the same time, that is, I've seen it done, but it is a task that I've said that I haven't been to achieve myself. So, if you want to beat me in this scenario, fulfill this optional task.
Okay. That's now on you, chat.
So, okay, I have my my lines set up, and now I will build two warehouses. One's at this station, one in Næstved, to get wood and milk to Copenhagen. And I see I've made a little mistake. So Copenhagen gets vegetables now, but they are not transferred via the warehouse to Næstved, which I want to do. So I'm going to build a warehouse. No, that's not a warehouse.
Something I did.
Warehouse.
Something I did a lot at the beginning was riding with the train. That was really nice.
Yes, it's one of the things we paid special attention to because it's a slower game. You kind of have the time to look around and smell the flowers, or look at
And
the
the animals.
little flags on on the trains
And the animals.
and the animals and the interior of our locomotives. So that is a big change to Railway 1, where these models have a much higher fidelity and you can see a lot more detail
And they're
in.
moving, the guys.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is okay. This is an empty train. Why is it empty?
Oh, from Tamara.
Oh,
Hello
yeah.
to Worms and Gütersloh.
Hi,
Hello.
Tamara. So it's great to see you on the other side. I watched your last stream with Samad from the chat.
Yeah.
Can I get a train with something loaded, please? Where's my
Oh yeah,
moneymaker? There.
there's from Sunny TK. The new warehouse system is a hot topic on Steam forums. People simply does not understand how they work. With
Yes. Maybe let me explain that again for the benefit of everybody. So one of the big changes we made from Railway 1 was how warehouses work. In Railway 1, warehouses were storage. So a warehouse created demand for goods until it was full, and then goods were able to be transported from there. We don't do this anymore, and I think it's a change for a more interesting system. Now, goods can only change at warehouses and can be stored. Warehouses no longer create demand. So sugar from here only gets delivered to the warehouse here if Copenhagen needs it, for one, and will only change at the warehouse if Næstved needs it. So right now there should be some goods here. So, no sugar? Why no sugar? I've seen. Ah, yes. No sugar is in the warehouse right now and is not being delivered because Næstved has all the sugar it needs. And as soon as this sugar has been used up and Næstved needs more sugar, then more sugar can be delivered. So I need my second warehouse here now. And this is exactly what I'm doing here. I want milk and wrong direction, and wood to be able to change trains here, and I want wood to be able to change trains here. So my first. So let me explain it with this. If I put a train from here to this station right now, wood wouldn't be transported because there's no way for my wood to get from here to Næstved. And is there something going wrong here? No, it was just looking weird. So I'm going to do that. And just for the sake of example, I'm going to let it run. And then I'm going to fix it by adding another train that goes to Næstved. Oh, I think. Oh no, I didn't mess up. Oh, good stuff.
But Dynamic asked, is it available for a cloud platform, xCloud, for example? Yes, you can go to the Xbox store, for example, and then there should be on top left the xCloud gaming beta
Yes.
logo in there. And
so this train is now doing something that I've seen a lot of saves about that were sent to me with the question of what is going wrong. The train is waiting for goods and not loading any wood, which could be loaded there because the wood has been set at the warehouse. The wood is not going to the warehouse because it can't go anywhere, but if I set a train line that goes from Næstved to Björklund Rest and say you can only go with 4, set a train there, then my train is filling up with wood to get to the warehouse. So I understand that's a little bit finicky, but once I understand, it's a really powerful tool
I think
that you can
it's
use.
also it's always a good idea to subscribe to our Calypso Live YouTube channel because those are also topics for us to create some content. We did in the past, for example, some strategy guides for games that gave help. So check that out, activate the notification bell, and you will get informed when a new video is out. You will also get news around our games, and maybe we can yeah, prepare a video for that later on if there's a demand for that, definitely.
Yes. So now that I've set up this basic system, it's time for me to look at tasks again. And my next task is to deliver 8 loads of liquor to Copenhagen. And that's another use case where you actually want to start buying factories. Because I think I want to produce liquor at Næstved, just for the simple reason that my fruit is down here. So something I'm going to do here is to buy the wooden planks factory in Næstved. I'm going to demolish it and build a liquor factory instead. It's one way to get the factory you want to be placed exactly where you want it. And I think it's worth to check how my moneymaker trains are doing. This one's good. This one's not full yet. I don't need to increase capacity. And where's my mail train? Waiting here. Okay. Now, the existence of a male train implies the existence of a female train, but unfortunately we don't have those.
Okay.
68 Honk is asking if it's possible to get sugar from the warehouse in Copenhagen to Kolding. Yes, absolutely. Let me check where Kolding is. There. So, if I input sugar in this warehouse, input sugar in this warehouse, and have a train run from here to Kolding. Something's going wrong here. Why? Okay, maybe... What? That's not how I want it. Björklund. Yes, now it should go. Also, let me put the waypoint. Okay. It's weird. Redo that. So now the train from Björklund will go to... Oh, nah. I'm dumb. No, sorry, scratch that. I don't have a station in Kolding yet, so that doesn't work, obviously. Why?
Okay.
Why was it allowing me to do that? I think I have a connection somewhere where it would be possible to go there. Yeah, let me set that up. I have enough money. As we go.
It looks much better than 40 minutes ago. Really good managing.
Thank you.
Really good.
Of course, now that factory is kinda in my way, unfortunately. Yeah, I have to redo some tracks, unfortunately. Okay. Water tower here. And now we start demolishing. To make that happen. Okay, I want a rail connection here. Then I want my express connection to go here. I must not forget to place grid irons and set directions in a minute. that is something I always kinda forget when I do it. But it's the most important part.
For me, that are the supply towers. I always forget that. And oh no, come on, not again.
Yeah. Playing and speaking, that always gets me. Yeah, this is the correct
Oh yes,
connection.
yes, 6-6 honk. There's maybe a lot of steam coming out of your head, Jonas, now, because there's a lot of to think. Yes, but this is the game. This is
Exactly.
yeah.
This it is easier to set signals now with this, but this doesn't keep me from actually having to think about the rail network I'm setting up. Because if I don't do it correctly, stuff will break and it will not run the way I want it to. Okay, and to here, and I'm already out of money again. That is quite expensive. Okay, let that go here. Now I of course have to. Okay, there's there's a bit of stuff I have to remember. I have to change my train from Buckinson to Birkenless to Colding. I have to build a warehouse here, set wood, and then that will work. I hope. 66 Hong says, who translated liquor as alcohol in German and not liqueur? Well, funny story there, that was me, and also it was the other way around. So we started with the German terms, so we started with alcohol, and then we translated it into English, so it got from alcohol to liquor, which is the correct term in English.
Yeah. We can see maybe in some movies that do not take place that do take place in England or United States. There are the liquor stores where you can get your booze.
Oh, and I seem to have discovered another bug. These things don't get turned off anymore. That explains a lot, and I have to keep this save game. Let me let me illustrate how to make a save game to send to us. You hit report issue, and then you hit save, and then immediately a window opens with the save game you can send to us via email.
So in English it is spirits.
Yes,
Yes,
that would
yes,
also be a workable translation.
Do we really have a discussion about naming alcohol in a video game?
Local translations are local discussions, localization discussions are always fun because
Yeah.
everybody has an opinion.
Yeah, that's good.
So
It's nice. Yeah.
the interesting story there. So we have Holz and Bauholz in German, wood and wooden planks as it is in English, and for the longest time we had translated as lumber and timber.
Mm-hmm.
And people kept getting confused what the difference is. So one very last minute change I made was to rename um, the wooden planks equivalent to wooden planks. You see, I don't even I don't even know what that was.
Yes, 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 but I got it. Yeah.
And I made another mistake. God, because I forgot that I have the market hall and restaurant here. But I want to have a warehouse to be able to change wood, but that's fine. Yeah,
But it's okay. You are reading chat. You're playing that game. That's everything is fine. Yeah.
I can do multitask if that's tasking if I have to. Okay, now I've built a rerouting line, and now wood should get delivered properly, and I am able to deliver wood to coding as well. Good. So now warehouse needed in coding right now. I just need to set up my sugar connection via NestVed. Okay, this works now. Do I have set all my track directions correctly? That looks good, that looks good. So my rail line to Björklund Rest should be running correctly now. Yeah, it's going. Oh yeah, you see how it was going wrong. It's all the way in Copenhagen when it should be between here and here. Yeah, that's what you get for completely redoing the system. So I need. Do I have sugar set here? Yes. So I need to set another train from here to here. Set a minimum requirement and go. So sugar should now be able to find its way over to there because it is in the warehouse here. Yes. It is in the warehouse here. Yes. And it is in the warehouse here. So if I didn't make any mistake, it should be able to be delivered now. Let's see. Nothing on its way yet.
From Sunny DK. By the way, it's a great game. I came from 500 plus hours in Railway Empire 1 and really enjoying Railway Empire 2. I'm on my second campaign playthrough after 60 hours. I look forward to more content maps. That's pretty quick after 1 week, I must say.
Yeah, basically. So, what I can
Respect.
recommend if you like the campaign, do play the scenarios because they are the same quality of polish as the campaign. They are all voice acted. They are all made by me. So if you like the campaign and would like more, but just a little bit shorter scenarios, these are for you. And also for the person, I think it was 66 Honk who asked me to make warehouse delivery of sugar to Colding. It is on its way now. So yes, it is possible. So maintenance needed, of course. Yeah, okay, it's going to go to a place that has a maintenance depot. Vadim is asking me, why don't you use a 4-track strategy like at YT Nilaus? I don't exactly know what he does, but what I've seen a lot on YouTube is to basically use the inner tracks for express and then use the outer two for freight. And there are different ways to play this game. So the way I'm doing it with the one long express connection, we kind of came up with that in the last couple of weeks of development. So our interns were really into maximizing profit and actually got me away from the way I was playing by showing me this method. So I'm sure there are already people who have figured out better ways to make money. And so there might be differences in how people play this game, but I think that's completely fine. That's the beauty of it. A lot of people play it, a lot of people come up with viable strategies, and it will differ, and people will see them and adapt their game. One of the games I have the most hours in is RimWorld, where I have like I think 800 hours, and I still go on YouTube to see better strategy, how to manage everything you want to manage.
But I think this is also a very underestimated part of a game when you're talking with other people about that game and what you reached and what you have done. There can be different stories coming out in
Yeah.
such a discussion, and not like, oh yeah, did you pass that mountain? Or so yes, I passed it on Tuesday. So they're all telling the same story, but here you can really talk about how is your strategy and what are you doing. I think this is a very underestimated part of some games these days.
Yeah. 66 Honk is asking me how I did the sugar delivery for Colding. Let me illustrate that again. From the Jonsson train station, sugar goes to my warehouse here in Copenhagen. Then from Copenhagen, another train takes it to my warehouse at Næstved. and from there another train takes it to Björklundrest, and finally a last train takes it from Björklundrest to Kolding. So I think 1, 2, 3 warehouses are involved, with 1, 2, 3, 4 trains involved overall. And why is this one waiting? What is he waiting for? You are blocking? Why? What is happening here?
Oh, there is a very good question from Shady Dave. Is there a maximum of local storage for freight in a city? For example, lumber is needed in City 1 and City 2, so I create a route, lumber, City 1, City 2, but it all gets dropped at City 1, nothing left for City 2.
Let me think. I'm trying to visualize that.
Yes, but this
So
is a very, very good question, yeah.
So I guess if that happens, you have to A, increase the supply of goods, and B, increase your delivery capacity. So right now Copenhagen has a demand of so right now Copenhagen has a storage of 13 sugar, and only 2 are on its way. So Copenhagen, depending on its size, has a maximum amount of goods that are allowed to be stored there. So if goods are completely eaten by a certain city, you have to increase the amount of goods you're getting there and the transport capacity. That makes the game fun in the long run, because cities just start eating everything they get, and it's a real challenge to get all the goods that are needed and that are to be transported to a city. A good way around that is to build warehouses at rural stations, because the rural stations won't eat your supplies, and then you can direct it a bit more easily on how you want to do it. So I'm still waiting for money to buy this. Oh, I can purchase this industry. Nice. So I'm going to demolish it, and I will build a liquor factory for 500,000, and I'm almost there. Nice. And I'll have to check how expensive a ridiculous bridge would be here with the general.
Yes.
So remember, I'm playing the general. Bridges and such are expensive, a bit more expensive than usual. 30% percent, I think. 1.2 million. That's.
Oh, that's.
Let's see. Okay, we can't take out any more bonds. Oh, well spotted, Vadim. We can get 200,000 from this one. Yes, I will do that. I have enough money. So Nyberg rest, and I'm going to build a one-way line to go. Just here for now. I will improve that in just a bit. Something else we added as a quality of life feature was the ability to have multiple track plannings saved at the same time, which is really helping me here as I'm waiting for money. Okay, Nyberg rest, and I really don't want it to block my express route, so it must have at least 8 to be allowed to go. Yes.
From Shady Dave as an addition, so I could buy the factory, increase its level, and add extra freight trains to ensure demand is lower than delivery, so access would go to City 2.
That is absolutely correct. And that's kind of the use case for buying factories. If your usual factories aren't producing enough, you buy them and increase their size. This will happen automatically to some degree, but not always as fast as you want. So that's one way to optimize it. Yeah, 66 Honk is asking if goods are only transferred from warehouse to warehouse, which is a challenge with only 2 special buildings per train station. Yes, that is correct. That adds an element of, well, choice, and you have to think about what extension you want to place. If you want to add multiple warehouses, then it would make sense to make dedicated tracks with multiple stations. So have one small network that connects via warehouses, and then put different extension on another train station in the same city. You can have up to 3 train stations per city. So you are free to optimize in that way.
It's nice to see that so many people are involved and want to play the game, want to understand all the physics of it, and want to help to improve a lot. And this is really cool. We had some amazing streams these days, and yeah, definitely a big thank you to the community. Always don't forget, be gentle, tell us your questions, or show us your problems, and we trying the best possible. And the most important thing is we are listening.
Vadim is asking if the refrigerator car affects sugar and salt. Yeah, that is a design discussion I remember having, whether we should do that or not, and we came down on the refrigerator car only being viable for meat, vegetables, fruits, and milk, as these things kinda are affected by the cold. So no sugar, no salt. Okay, so I'm producing liquor here. I'm getting sugar where it needs to go, but I still need to make fruit available. So I'm going to build another dumb bridge from from northern Germany to Copenhagen. Yeah, I find this very amusing. I love my bridges in Copenhagen. Even if it's a bit anachronistic, but this scenario is about having fun. Okay, so I'm going to first build my dumb bridge from Aalborg to Gothenburg, and then I'm going to build another stupid bridge from northern Germany to Copenhagen. No, I don't need cement factories right now.
Check out the clock. We are almost done.
Oh yeah, Vadim is saying
If you want to achieve anything.
Vadim is saying it was different in the closed beta. Yes, that is correct. We had that discussion fairly recently when we were discussing how to improve special wagons. Because I think what also was the case in the closed betas was that the special wagons didn't cost anything and were just a decision whether you want to give up a slot on your train. And at that point, we saw that it's kind of dominant strategy because it's always worth giving up a slot on your train for a special wagon if you have enough production. And so we added the 20,000, I think, per special wagon cost to make it an interesting choice in early game. Okay. .66 Honk is asking what would be another good way to transport goods without warehouses. That one would be to just to build longer routes that go more of a distance. So what you could do would be to just make a dedicated train line from here to Nestved. One way the way I used to play before adapting warehouses to my playstyle, I would make a station in a city and then connect it from 2 sides, but not in a way that trains would just go through it, because that that's kind of a time waster. So I would build it in a way that trains got in from one side and couldn't leave via the other. So, but trains still need to go around the station, so I made another route that went around the station. And that's quite a robust way to transport goods if you make longer dedicated routes without warehouses. Because one of the problems I observed and encountered in Railway 1 was that my stations always got crowded because trains from one side wanted to get in, trains from the other side wanted to get in, and trains wanted to go through. So I improved my station by saying, okay, trains can only enter from one side, and then trains that don't want to stop there, they can just go around. And to answer your question, I guess a model like this would be a good way to transport goods without warehouses, because then your rail network wouldn't get as clogged as otherwise.
Yeah, I think we answered a lot of questions, and we could, I think you could play this scenario all night long. But sadly, our time for today is over. If you joined this stream to still rewatch it as a VOD on Calypso Live on this channel, stay tuned for more information for that. And yeah, definitely, it's awesome how active the community is, and be a part of this nice
Yes.
game.
Thank you everybody for being here and asking a lot of constructive questions. That was quite fun to have you all here.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, thanks, Jonas. That was worth a lot of a wagon load of gold to have you here. Next Tuesday, we are planning out a multiplayer live stream with Jonas again, and there will be also Rolf, who was there in the previous stream, and we have another silent maid from Calypso, who will be also there inside of this game. You can play it with how many friends? I'm stuck in. We are one shy of the full potential next Tuesday, I think. Yes. Okay. That's it from me. Check it out. Railway Empire 2 on the Xbox consoles, on PlayStation consoles, on PC, and yes, the Xbox and PC Game Pass as well, if you have subscribed to that service. Okay, thanks, Jonas, and have a good night, guys, and thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.
Thank you, Patrick. Thanks for having me, and hopefully see you next week in the multiplayer stream.
Definitely.